All right, let's dive right in, shall we? Today we're going to help you totally crush that ship planner job interview. You've got RoleCatcher's Career and Interview Guide, so we're set to unlock those secrets.
What's really cool about being a ship planner is it's way more than just logistics. It's more like being a conductor for a whole vessel.
Whoa. Okay, so like orchestrating everything, from cargo and crew to everything in between.
Exactly.
That's intense. Sounds like a high-stakes puzzle, but with huge rewards if you can solve it.
Definitely. And that's why we're here to help.
Exactly. So let's jump right into it. I'm looking at the interview guide, and one of the first questions is about motivation. What motivated you to pursue a career as a ship planner?
Ah, yes, the passion question. This is where you really showcase what drives you.
Right, like what sparked that interest?
Exactly. Connect it to your
Hmm.
values.
Like if someone was fascinated by ships as a kid or had a specific event that kind of changed things for them.
That's it. Authenticity is key.
I love that. Okay, so let's say I'm fresh out of maritime school, super eager to prove myself. What should I be focusing on?
In that case, lean into your academic background, internships, anything hands-on.
Like show them you've already got some wins, even without years on the job.
You got it. Highlight those practical skills.
Mhm.
Did you crush cargo handling simulations? Lead a research project on fuel efficiency?
Show them you're ready to hit the ground running. And what about someone with more experience? How would they answer differently?
If you've got years under your belt, focus on concrete achievements. Successfully managing a tricky cargo operation or negotiating a great contract, things like that.
So basically stories that pack a punch. Got it. Now, let's move on to safety and environmental regulations. There's a question about that.
Ah, yes. Every ship planner needs to know this stuff inside and out.
How do you ensure compliance with safety and environmental regulations? It's got to be more than just knowing what SOLAS and MARPL stand for, right?
Definitely. Dropping those acronyms shows you know the language, but you have to go deeper. Think about a scenario like loading hazardous chemicals.
Okay, yeah. So you'd meticulously refer to the right MARPL annex to make sure everything's packaged, labeled, and documented correctly.
Exactly. That kind of detail shows you're serious.
You're not just reciting rules, you're living them. All right, next question. This one's all about handling the heat. Can you provide an example of a time you had to resolve a conflict with a carrier or customer? Yikes, I'm already feeling the pressure.
Don't sweat it. Use the STAR method, set the scene, describe your responsibility, outline your actions, and then boom, highlight that positive outcome.
Situation, task, action, result. Love it.
It's a classic for a
It
reason.
really helps you structure your answer too, which is super helpful when you're nervous. And hey, speaking of help, isn't this where RoleCatcher's AI comes in? Like a secret weapon?
You know it. RoleCatcher's AI feedback is like having a personal coach for your answers. It pinpoints those areas for improvement, like did you explain the situation clearly enough? Was your resolution actually impactful? And get this, it even helps you tailor your answers to the specific company and role you're going for.
Whoa, it's like having a whole team prepping you behind the scenes. That's incredible. Okay, let's tackle another tricky one. How do you prioritize cost optimization and sustainability? Feels like walking a tightrope.
Definitely a balancing act, but it's crucial. Show them you understand stuff like fuel-efficient routing and eco-friendly cargo handling. And don't forget tech advancements like optimizing engine performance.
So it's about proving you're thinking about the big picture, not just crunching numbers. Love it. Okay, this next one seems like a real test of your foresight. How do you manage risks and ensure contingency plans are in place?
Time to show off that proactive mindset. Think about potential problems like weather delays, congestion at ports, or equipment malfunctions.
Right, all those curveballs that the shipping industry is known for.
Exactly. Now, how do you assess those risks and create backup plans? Have you used a specific risk assessment framework? Do you have a network of reliable alternative carriers on speed dial?
It's all about showing you're already thinking 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So you're not just reacting to problems, you're anticipating them.
Exactly. That's what makes a great ship planner.
Right, last question for this part of our deep dive. How do you ensure effective communication and collaboration with other stakeholders? Sounds like it's all about those people skills.
Absolutely. Ship planners are master communicators. They work with everyone, port authorities, carriers, crew members, even customs officials.
So many moving parts, you got to be able to keep everyone in the loop.
You said it. This is where highlighting your ability to adapt your communication style comes in. Show them you can use technology for seamless info sharing and that you're a good listener.
That's where those key abilities from the career guide come into play, right? Things like strong interpersonal skills, problem solving, attention to detail, all crucial in this kind of scenario.
100%. Those are the foundations of being a successful ship planner.
All right, I think we've covered a ton of ground already. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah, those abilities are super important. Like if you don't communicate well, it could be a total disaster.
right, a logistical nightmare. Okay, so we talked about some of the tougher interview questions, but what about the application process itself? Sometimes that can feel like an uphill battle, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really save the day.
Ah, you mean like that beat the automated recruiter section?
Exactly. Remember,
Yeah.
it talks about their AI-powered CV and resume builder.
Yeah, I remember that. Does it actually rewrite your whole CV for you?
Well, sort of. It goes through what you've got and then compares it to the job description to see if you're missing any skills.
Okay, and then,
Well, then it gives you suggestions on how to add those skills or like reword stuff so it lines up better with what they're looking for.
oh, that's super helpful.
Hmm.
So it's not just about getting past the robots, it actually helps you impress the hiring managers, too.
Exactly. But it gets even better.
Even better.
Yeah, it can help you prepare for those behavioral questions. Remember that conflict resolution example?
Oh, yeah, the STAR method.
Right. So you can practice answering those kinds of questions, and the AI gives you feedback on how you're doing.
Whoa, that's like having a mock interview, but you don't even have to leave your house.
Yep. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so RoleCatcher's got your back throughout the whole process. But let's get back to the actual job. What's the work environment really like for a ship planner?
Well, according to the guide, it sounds pretty exciting, actually. You could be on board a ship or working in a busy shipping office
Right.
or even coordinating everything right from the port.
Oh, wow, so lots of variety.
Yeah.
I bet our listener who loves traveling would be into that. What about the downsides? I know the guide mentioned working in all sorts of weather conditions.
Right. Like, imagine trying to coordinate cargo loading during a huge storm or keeping everything on schedule in thick fog. It definitely takes someone who can think on their feet.
Speaking of adapting, what about all the new technology? What are some of the biggest changes coming up for ship planners?
Well, one of the biggest things is definitely automation and digitalization.
Right. Everyone's talking about AI these days.
Exactly. We're seeing AI and blockchain technology and all these advanced data analytics coming into the industry.
So it's not just about managing ships and cargo anymore. Ship planners need to be tech savvy too.
Totally. The role is changing super fast. Ship planners are now expected to analyze huge amounts of data, optimize routes using AI, and make sure everything is secure.
Wow, that sounds intense, but also pretty exciting. It seems like
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential for growth in this field.
For sure. But let's be real, it's competitive out there. So what can someone do to really stand out?
Yeah, like how do you climb that career ladder?
Well, the Elevating Your Career section talks a lot about the importance of continuous learning. So taking extra courses on things like maritime law or logistics management or even data analytics can give you an edge.
Okay, so keep learning new things. Got it.
What about those certifications we talked about earlier? How do those factor in?
Think of certifications as like badges of expertise.
Oh, okay, I like that.
So whether it's a maritime license or an ISPS code certification or even a dangerous goods certification, they all add extra credibility to your profile.
So basically, you're showing employers that you're not just keeping up with the industry, you're going above and beyond.
You got it. And speaking of going above and beyond, the guide also highlights the importance of building a strong professional portfolio.
What would that even look like for a ship planner? Is it like taking pictures of all the ships you've worked on?
Huh. Not quite. Think more along the lines of documenting your biggest successes, maybe even writing articles or giving presentations at industry events.
So basically showing off your expertise and thought leadership. Makes sense.
Right. And of course, networking is super important too.
Yeah, can't forget about that. Going to trade shows, joining industry organizations, even participating in online forums. These are all ways to make connections and stay up to date.
There's a real sense of community in this field.
Yeah.
It's not just about you succeeding on your own. It's about working together to make the whole industry better.
I totally agree. And, you know, that collaborative spirit really aligns with the core values listed in the career guide. Things like integrity, professionalism, and a commitment to excellence.
It's about being part of something bigger than yourself, contributing to global trade, and making the world a more connected place.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I'm curious about the academic pathways section. This is for anyone thinking about getting a formal education in this field, right?
Yep. It lists a bunch of different degree subjects that are relevant. So you've got the more traditional ones like maritime studies, naval architecture, marine engineering. But there are broader options too, like international business or logistics.
So there's a path for people with all sorts of backgrounds and interests. What about those who don't have a formal maritime education? Can they still break into this field?
Absolutely. While a degree can give you a good foundation, it's not the only way. Practical experience, certifications, and genuine passion for the industry can open doors. A lot of ship planners actually started out in related fields like logistics or supply chain management and then moved over to the maritime world.
So it's not just about what's on your resume, it's about your skills and your drive to learn.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we've covered a ton in this part of our deep dive. We've gone way beyond just the interview questions and explored the big picture of what it means to be a ship planner.
Totally. We talked about the challenges, the opportunities, the new skills you need, and how important it is to keep learning. I hope our listener is feeling way more prepared now.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, but there's one more thing in the career guide I want to look at. It's the ship planner FAQs section. It's like a cheat sheet for those unexpected questions that interviewers love to throw at you.
Ah, yeah, those curveball questions. Got to be ready for anything.
Exactly. So let's try a few. This first one's pretty basic. What is the role of a ship planner? Oh, we've talked about this a ton, but how would you sum it up quickly and make an impact?
I'd probably say something like, a ship planner is the architect of a vessel's entire journey. They make sure everything is safe, efficient, and profitable through careful planning and execution.
Perfect.
Uh,
Short and sweet.
yeah.
Okay, here's one that might trip people up. How does a ship planner ensure the safety of the vessel and its cargo? I feel like just saying I follow the rules isn't going to cut it.
Oh, definitely not. This is where you really get to show off how proactive you are about safety.
Okay, yeah. So you can talk about doing those thorough risk assessments or working with port authorities to make sure everything's compliant.
Exactly. And don't forget about carefully implementing those safety protocols for handling and storing cargo.
So you're painting a picture of someone who's really got a handle on safety, someone with a system. All right, how about this one? How does a ship planner maximize profitability by linking vessels to cargoes? This feels a little more on the technical side.
It does, yeah. You need to show off those market smarts and your analytical skills.
Like, how would you actually say that?
I might say something like, I analyze what the cargo needs are, then I find the right vessels based on their capacity and when they're available, and then I negotiate good rates to make sure we're getting the most out of each trip while still meeting the client's needs.
It's all about that strategic thinking, being able to see the whole picture while juggling all those details.
Exactly. That's what being a good ship planner is all about. Balancing safety and efficiency and profitability in this crazy, complex world of shipping.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've given our listener a ton of great insights to nail that ship planner interview. They've got the knowledge, the tools, and hopefully now the confidence to go out there and get that job.
I agree. We went deep into the role, tackled those tough interview questions, and even showed how AI can be a secret weapon. Now it's time to set sail and start charting that course to success.
And remember, this is just the beginning. The shipping industry is huge, and there are so many amazing opportunities out there for those with the passion to make it happen.
Totally. To our listener out there, we wish you fair winds and following seas.
So true. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We can't wait to see where your journey takes you.